If you are a day trader and know all the technical analysis and fundamental analysis but still end up in loss, then it's because of neuroscience. Hi, and welcome to Daily Hacks. In this video, I'm going to explain neuroscience of fear and greed, how they are hardwired into us and in trading, how it destroys your success. So let's not waste any time and straight jump into the video. What is neuroscience and why neuroscience matters in trading? Neuroscience is the study of brain, simply our nervous system, how they control thoughts, emotion, and behavior. Let's talk about why it matters in trading. The first reason is because trading isn't purely logical, it's emotional, which means your brain's reward and fear drive every single decision. Let's talk about it in detail. So when you are profitable, you are actually becoming greedy, and when you lose a trade, your fear is more in control. So the main thing is to understand how does your brain work so you can control them accordingly. But before we talk about how to control, let's try to understand how it works. And the key players affect your trading. The first one is amygdala. This part of the brain is a major processing center of emotion, which triggers you take any panic decision from any kind of fear. In trading, it's responsible for panic selling when you feel the fear from the market drops. The second one is prefrontal cortex. This very part of the brain is the one responsible for all the planning, decisions, and logical answers. So meaning to say, this is the part of the brain which helps you stick to the trade with proper logic. The third one is dopamine system. The word dopamine is commonly used everywhere. If you have heard it before, you will know it's related with happiness. So dopamine is both a neurotransmitter and a hormone. So it's responsible for letting you feel rewarded when you have a profitable trade. Now that we have learned that there are three different parts of brain responsible for our trades, so let's talk about what and how they let us take all these decisions if we don't train them. As we learned amygdala, which is responsible for giving us fear. So if you have heard the famous term FOMO, fear of missing out, what it makes you do is if you feel like you are missing out, you will just jump into trade when you see any pump. It will make you chase random pump and you will end up wiping your wallet. Also the fear of lose. When you are actually afraid of lose, what you do is you enter to a trade with logic and proper strategy. But because you have fear of loss and your mind is not trained, so you will come out of the trade early and you won't have the calculated profit that you need to have. This is important to understand that amygdala is responsible for our FOMO and fear of loss. It makes you activate the fight or flight mode, which makes you irrational. Before we talk about prefrontal cortex and learn how to control it, let's get to know our dopamine system and how it makes us greedy in trading. Let's understand why greed is not good for our trade. It's as simple because it will make you stay in your winning trade for too long and will eventually come out and lose. Also, it will make you chase bigger gains, which is why you will do over-leveraging and end up liquidated. And the most important one is once you have profit small or big, the dopamine strikes will make you go for it again and again, which is addiction or gambling and not trading, and you will end up in loss. That's why we don't want to be greedy traders. Now that we learned how our mind works, so let's just straight get into how to control it or use it the way we want it to be. As we have learned, our prefrontal cortex is all about logical thinking and taking decision based on logic, and it has nothing to do with emotions. So in order to make our prefrontal cortex dominant on our emotion or fear and greed, we need to learn about all these techniques that professional traders, businessmen, players, and mostly all successful people use. The first technique is prefrontal activation. By saying so, you need to think about all the actions you take, put it in trading, so before you try to enter into any trade, ask yourself, why am I doing that? Do I have a strategy? If yes, then go for it and stick to it, no matter it ends as profit or loss. But if you don't have a proper plan and strategy, do not trade, stop yourself. That's how you are making your prefrontal cortex dominant over emotions. So just focusing on that is good, but not enough. That's why you have to calm down your amygdala, which is the second technique, and we do it by mindfulness and breathing to be calm and avoid unexpected losses. The third technique, which will help in both technique we discussed just now, is to set automatic rules. Set your stop loss and take profit when you enter any trade and remove all the emotion from the whole process. The fourth way to control your fear is to set yourself a long-term win and stop celebrating small wins, which mean consistent growth. Tell yourself to celebrate once you have the specific long-term target being achieved. That's really good if you stick to it every day. But if you want to make it perfect, then there are some practical exercises specifically for traders that helps a lot. The best way for you to rewire your brain for awareness is to write down your own feelings. Also, mentally rehearse discipline before your every trading session. It's proven that cold shower help reduce stress in brain. Also, keep a daily risk limit for yourself that how much is that certain amount that I can afford to lose? If you have, make it till this part of the video, congratulations, because this is the most important part of the video. Remember, trading is not just about technical analysis. In fact, most of the professional trader believes it's 20% technical analysis and 80% psychology or neuroscience. Also, fear and greed will never disappear, but you can learn how to control it. You need to be emotionally stable. If I can put it in a funny way, then you have to be as stable that you react to your breakup as another stop loss is hit. Do not forget, for you to be a successful trader, you need to master your own mind before you master the market. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and comment.